Hey, it's Julian Gordon here, and I want to say thank you so much for downloading the Entrepreneur Year Plan. It will arrive to your email very shortly. Now, while you're here, I want to take you on the 7-step process to actually get paid for your purpose. And the reason I'm giving you the Entrepreneur Year Plan is because it's such a powerful tool and will help you accelerate through the process of self-employment. See, a lot of people think that they're entrepreneurs, but they're not yet, right? Because they think that just because they got an LLC, a domain name, or even sometimes just an idea, people start calling themselves an entrepreneur. But entrepreneur and self-employed are two different things. We live in what I call the entrepreneur reality, where we are all already entrepreneurs. An employee is simply an entrepreneur with one big client, right? But there are 5 levels to business. So first, there's an employee. An employee focuses on their paycheck. Then there's an employee with a side hustle, and you're focused on your product or your service. And then we become self-employed, right? We've left the 9 to 5, and now we're focused on prospects because we have to sell at that moment in time. But then the shift from self-employed to entrepreneur is that an entrepreneur thinks about the people that they lead and manage, not just prospects, right? And the Entrepreneur Year Plan will help you extract that vision, mission, and plan from your mind and put it on a paper so that you can share it with other people and inspire them and hold them accountable and lead them to wherever it is that you're trying to go. And then ultimately at the top of the rung, there's enterprise. And this is people like Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos, right? So be careful with your language. I want to accelerate the process that you have to go through to get to self-employed. I spent a lot of time in the self-employed arena, and now I have tools, processes, and systems that I know will help you get through the self-employment stage as quickly as possible so that you can be a true entrepreneur. If you don't know me, my mission and purpose is to fully free more people than Harriet Tubman by helping them get paid for their purpose through entrepreneurship. I believe entrepreneurship is the fastest path to freedom. It's the one that you can control the most. It's better than investing in the stock market, even though you can get double returns sometimes in the stock market. You have no control over that. It's like gambling in a lot of cases. And to date, I've actually freed 4 people. I've fully freed 4 people. I've helped loosen the chains for thousands of people, but in terms of people who will get on here and actually show you and tell you that I am responsible for them feeling free, I've fully freed 4 people in different arenas, from online business coaches to a public speaker to someone who has led a recruiting business to an accountant. And the way I did that was through the Freedom Framework. The Freedom Framework is a framework that I created that is really all about you getting free. It's a 7-step process to becoming free. And I'm going to walk you through that framework right here and right now so that you understand it and you can identify where you are on this journey. Now, a little bit about me. My name is Julian Gordon. I'm founder of the Freedom School and Masterminds.org. I got my MBA from Stanford. I graduated from UCLA in 3 years. I have authored 6 books to date and sold over 50,000 copies of those books. I'm a 5-time TED Talker. In fact, I don't know anybody who's done as many TEDx talks as I have done. And I quit my job on January 9th, 2009, despite it being the bottom of the depression, right, or the recession. And my company's growth rate has grown double digits ever since. So what do? I show people how to use their existing gifts, talents, strengths, and skills to get free by teaching them entrepreneurship and providing them with a mastermind group of successful people who will push them to greatness. And so this is really who I am, and this is what I'm all about. I'm all about freedom, okay? Now, let me know if this is a thought that you have sometimes. I have all these great ideas, but I don't know which one to pursue or how to grow the ones I've chosen. Well, there are several different ways that you can take your intelligence and actually turn it into income. There are so many ways to monetize your mind, and I've done all of them, right? I've been doing this for quite some time, and I've tested all of them, and I can help you identify which is the best for you. So I've done speaking at colleges and corporations, getting 4- and 5-figure checks. I've done coaching and consulting. I've done mastermind groups, right? Not only for myself, but launching them for other people. I've done publishing. I told you that I've published 6 books and sold over 50,000 books. I have e-courses. I've done live events, and I even have software. So there are so many different ways that you can take the gold mine that you have and actually extract that gold into a product or service that actually serves other people. And it's really simple when you think about it, building a 6-figure business. It's not that hard, and in fact, it only takes 1,000 true fans in order to do it. Just look at this profit pipeline really quickly. So let's say you have 1,000 Facebook fans, Twitter followers, or email addresses, right? And you put on a webinar, and let's say only 1/4 of them show up. So 250 people come to the webinar. But on that webinar, you get the chance to actually make them an offer to work with you on a deeper level. And let's say of that 1,000 people, 100 people buy your $20 book. That's $2,000. 10 people, which is 1%, buy your $300 Pick My Brain coaching hour. See, no longer allow people to pick your brain. No longer say that I'm giving that's just my 2 cents, right? No, you have a gold mine. Every thought and idea that you have is actually worth more than 2 cents. So never say that again. In terms of a live event, let's say you have several live events or just one live event where 25 people come at $200. That's $5,000. And then let's say you have a coaching program that gets 10 people over the course of a year at $3,000. That's $30,000. Then you can have 10 speaking engagements. Those can also be $3,000. $3,000 is actually on the low end. That's another $30,000. And then you can have a mastermind group with 24 people, meaning that you've gotten 2 new members every single month at $2,000 for the year, which is less than $199 per month. And that's another $48,000. And all of a sudden, just like that, you have a 6-figure business. Okay. So it's really basic. It's all just a numbers game, and I want to show you the process to go through in order to get those numbers. Now, for me, I am very deeply rooted spiritually, and for me, I see entrepreneurship as a spiritual act. For me, as the offspring of the creator, you are also a creator. You're not just here to be a consumer. And when you think about those who have actually created wealth, they are actually creators themselves. They've tapped into that creative power and energy that is within them, right? There aren't too many people who are wealthy who are actually more consumer than creator. It's actually the creators who actually create the wealth here in this country and in this world. I also see stepping into entrepreneurship and pursuing your purpose as a fail-proof path, because your purpose is actually the only thing that you can't fail at if you fully commit. Why would your creator create you with a purpose and then not give you everything that you need to actually succeed at that purpose? It just doesn't make sense, right? And then it's also a way to give your God-given gifts full time. Your purpose isn't meant to be part-time as mentorship on weeknights or volunteering on the weekends. You're actually meant to live in your purpose every single day. But again, you have to fully commit. See, a lot of people are moving through this world and they are trying to climb this corporate ladder, and they don't recognize that no corporate ladder can ever reach your full potential. And a lot of people are actually slaves, right? But this is my acronym for slave. Somebody who is steadily living above value earned. We know that debt is a huge issue in the United States in particular. That's because people are trying to live above the value that they've actually earned. And so what I want to teach you how to do is actually create more value so that you can actually live the life that you truly desire. The more you give, the more you shall receive. You want to give so much to other people in terms of value that you actually create a vacuum that has to be filled by the universe, by your customers, because you created so much goodwill out in the world. And that's what I'm doing for you here and right now. I want to teach you how to be free. I don't know where else you go to learn about freedom. I can't find a place, and so I actually created it with the Freedom School. Okay? So I want to tell you a quick story about my backyard. It's actually out here to my left here in Brooklyn, New York. It's about 25 by 25 square feet, with not a lot of real estate, not a lot of land. New Yorkers build up, right? And so when we bought this home, this 3-family home here in New York, we had this backyard, and I wanted to do something with it. And so I laid out this design on Gardena.com, and then we went to, of course, Home Depot, right? Where do you go? You go to Home Depot, and of course, the man with the orange apron approaches. This person's name was Vicente. He was a black guy, and he approaches, and I show him this layout that I have for the backyard, and he literally takes our shopping cart, starts guiding us through the gardening section and putting everything that we need to create this garden in our basket. Now, once we are done, he sends us off our way. We go to the register, and my wife and I are thinking to ourselves, man, why don't we just hire this guy to come do what we need, right? Why are we going to go try to figure this out on ourselves? You know, we're in this DIY culture where everybody's trying to do everything on their own. And there's some projects that you should definitely just get your hands dirty and try out on your own for fun. But if you really want something done right, oftentimes you can't rely on doing it yourself. So here's the deal. When I looked at the numbers for Home Depot, and this is the highest paying retail sales job, Home Depot is number 4, but it's about $12 an hour. My wife and I would have happily paid $3,000 for him to come that weekend Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and actually just do this job for us. So instead, because he didn't recognize his value, he would have to work 250 hours, which is almost 6 weeks, right, at Home Depot to earn $3,000, which he could have earned in 3 days if he really was aware of his value. See, a lot of us are actually selling our time to corporations for wholesale prices. You know, when you go to Costco and you buy something in bulk, what do? You buy it in bulk because you're getting it at a discounted price because you're buying in volume. And that's how oftentimes salaries work. And to me, in a lot of ways, salaries can be slavery, because especially when somebody has you on salary, then they start wanting you to work 50, 60, 70 hours a week, and you don't get paid anymore for working over 40 hours. In fact, I think that sometimes hourly people are more free than people who are salary, okay? So, this is not just indicative of Vicente at Home Depot. This is indicative of almost anybody who is on salary. So we need a mindset shift. And I love this quote by Jay-Z where he says, "I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman." I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. You have to recognize that you are actually a business. You are actually a business that is selling your times, gifts, talents, strengths, and skills to an organization. Okay? So in this entrepreneur reality, the reality is that we are all already entrepreneurs. An employee is simply an entrepreneur with one big client. An employee is simply an entrepreneur with one big client. And that is actually, in fact, dangerous. That is, in fact, dangerous. And I want to help you have more freedom and more security, not in an employer or a corporation or an entity, but actually more security within yourselves, inner security, right? We want to get to a place where you actually know how to create a dollar. Most people don't know how to create a dollar outside the context of a job. But I know for a fact that the moment you get a 4-figure check outside the context of a job, that alone will start to free you in your mind. Most people have never done that and don't know how to, and it would scare them to death. But there's a reason that you're here. There's a reason that you got this tool and signed up for this particular webinar. Okay? So we have to recognize that the 40/40 Club is closed. The idea of working for one company for 40 hours a week for 40 years is done. It's over. That's not how it's going to happen anymore. And the entrepreneur reality is changing that, where you have to recognize, the faster you recognize that you are actually a business in and of yourself, right? The more powerful you'll be and the more free that you'll be. I like to call us, in fact, the incomes generation, plural, incomes generation, meaning that we aren't just going to go to one employer and have that be our only source of income. See, a lot of people talk about diversifying their stocks, but they diversify their stocks, but they're not diversifying the very source of their income. Which is more secure? It would be more secure to diversify your very source of income than it is to diversify your stocks and put that money in the hands of people who you have no clue who they are, right? Go show me who Charles Schwab is. Go shake his hand, right? We don't know. I want you to be in full control and power over how you earn money and ultimately what you do with it. So ultimately, from a month-to-month picture, I want your life to look like this, where you have your job or your main hustle, and that's paying you a certain amount, and you have rental properties. I actually have 4 rental properties at this moment in time. You have your side hustle. You have some stocks, of course. You have some home equity. You have a book or online course or other asset that is paying you even while you sleep, and perhaps you have a Shopify store where you're selling some sort of product through your store directly or through Amazon. Okay, so a lot of people have tried going at this entrepreneur thing alone, and if you try to go at it alone, it is going to be you're going to face some landmines. It's going to be a battlefield. So let me know if this looks familiar, right? And ask me how I know. First and foremost, you read a Rich Dad Poor Dad, and you get become awake to the difference between an asset and a liability, and you start to recognize that a single-family home, is actually not an asset. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket, and so that starts to unlock your awareness of how money actually works. And then you start consuming Shark Tank, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go start a business, and you fall on your face, right? Because you still don't know what you're doing, because you've read a financial literacy book and you've watched some people pitch, but you still don't understand how to actually run a business. And then you're like, okay, one business that I can start that's pretty simple, that's a little bit more advanced than a lemonade stand, is perhaps a t-shirt business, right? I can go to printful.com or something like that, put an image on a shirt and try to sell that. And you might sell 20, 30, 40, 50, and after that you're like, this is not worth it. I'm trying to push this t-shirt and this brand, and it's not working. You fall back down. And then you have that friend who comes by who's trying out everything, which it was actually a good thing. I don't blame that friend whatsoever. But they invite you to some network marketing, a multi-level marketing meeting, and you show up, and it looks like this great get-rich-quick scheme. I'm going to be having passive income for life. I just got to recruit enough people. Anytime recruiting the people becomes more important than the actual product, you want to run out of the room as quickly as possible, right? And so I've been there. I've done that, okay? I've done actually all these things. And the reason I said ask me how I know, because this was my journey too, okay? And then, you're like, okay, I need to understand money a little bit better, and you go to a conference and you go to Dave Ramsey or Susie Orman, and they try to teach you about wealth, and it's about save, right? And saving is great up until a point, right? But if you look at the interest rates on your savings account, you're not getting anything for that. That's money that's just stale. And if you've ever read the parable of the talents in the Bible, you know that that's just like putting your money in dirt and covering it up. You're not allowing your money to actually work for you, okay? So then you're like, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to climb the corporate ladder, and I'm just going to try to climb as high as I possibly can, and I'm going to try to get the highest paying job that I possibly can. And that burns you out. You're creating all this wealth for other people, right? You're manifesting other people's dreams, and you're not manifesting yours. And one person above you doesn't like you, and all of a sudden you fall flat on your face again, despite being the best performer, despite being the hardest worker, despite being the longest worker. And then you might take some of that resource and you try to buy and flip a house, and you realize that house has asbestos and something like that, because you're watching HGTV and they make it look so simple that you can flip a house in 30 minutes, 22 if you take off the commercials, and you'll be rich. And it doesn't work out like that. And a lot of this was my journey. I've been through all of these stages, and I want to help you avoid all the pitfalls and actually get directly to where you're trying to go. I want to save you time and money by helping you get free faster and giving you a clear roadmap to success. I want to compress time for you. So really quickly, I want to share with you my story in terms of the bold decision I made to actually become free. On November 10th, 2008, I sent out this email to about 100 friends in Brooklyn, inviting them to come to my living room for a full day experience called Driving School for Life, where I was going to help them get clarity on their life purpose. I was writing my first book, The 8 Cylinders of Success, and before I published it, I wanted to make sure that the 8 cylinders worked for other people besides me. And so I sent out this email on November 10th, and immediately I got 5 RSVPs. By the end of the day, I had another 5, and my living room was full. It was only space for about 8 people, right? And here's the catch. When I sent out that email on November 10th, I had absolutely nothing prepared for November 22nd. I had nothing prepared for November 22nd. So I couldn't think about it. I couldn't go get feedback. I couldn't do a first draft and second draft. Over that next 12-day period, I had to show up and deliver, because there are people now coming to my living room 12 days later expecting to get clarity on their life purpose. Right? And you have to take bold action like this when you are serious about transformation and serious about getting free. You're not going to get free one string at a time. You're going to have to break free. You ever hear that? You break free, right? And so this is the bold action that I took, and this is my first domino, and these are the people that came to my living room that day. These are the 8 of them, and we had such an amazing experience that I went on to teach that program to hundreds of professionals in 5 different cities across the country. And as a result of that, I felt confident enough to step out and actually leave my job. This is me quitting my job forever. This is the last time I ever worked for an organization that was not my own. You could see the smile on my face, and I had to document this moment. And I ended up quitting my job at a very weird time, but I was pivoting towards my purpose. And as I said before, your purpose is the one thing that you cannot fail at. If you have enough faith and you believe that your Creator created you for a reason and that it will provide for you, then you just go for it, but you have to fully commit. You can't just dip one toe in and hope that it's going to work. You have to fully immerse yourself. And so here's where I quit my job. I quit my job on January 9th, 2009. It was absolutely the worst time in the past 65 years of the S&P 500 to actually quit my job. It's the lowest time, the greatest dip in our economy to date. But guess what? Here I am today, still growing my business. Because you see this wave up, what goes down must go up, right? Or actually they say what goes up must come down. But as a result of starting when it was down, I've been able to ride that wave up every single year. My business has grown by double digits every single year because I had enough confidence. So if I could actually start my company in a time where all the stock market tickers were red, people were losing their jobs, there were layoffs at these major corporations by the thousands, I know that you can start yours right here and right now. So let me take a moment to guide you through the Freedom Framework. And I want to go through it one step at a time so that you truly understand it and can start to apply it to your business and life. So the first step to the Freedom Framework is really getting clear on what your framework is. That's one of the keys. And your framework is your process that leads your prospective client to their desired result, right? A framework is very powerful. And there's other words for frameworks, right? There's your formula, your process, your concept, your practice, your perspective, your system, your method, your solution, your approach, right? These are all frameworks, okay? And you have to get clear on your framework for whatever it is that you do. And you have to be able to draw that in a simple fashion as if it can fit on a napkin or a Post-it note, right? What having a framework will allow you to do, it allows you to sell your mental model rather than selling your time. So rather than you saying, I'm great at doing this, and people always hiring you to actually do the work, what you could ultimately do is say that I have a great process that you can now implement. And what that does is it separates the person from the process. It separates you from the process. And I'll give you tons of examples, right? For example, there is the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This is Franklin Covey's framework, right? This is his great framework that has outlasted him, that is living on and impacting people's lives beyond him. An entire organization, a multi-million-dollar organization, has emerged out of this simple framework, which is simply some circles, some lines, and some words. And then you have Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And Maslow's hierarchy of needs, all it is a pyramid with 5 different levels. And this framework is part of American culture. People understand it. They know it when you reference it. Then you have Simon Sinek's Golden Circle, right? The Golden Circle. Look at it. It's simply 3 concentric circles with the words what, how, and why. And he's been able to go on and build a multi-million-dollar business off of this simple framework. And then one of my other favorites is the 5 love languages, right? What is the 5 love languages? It's a framework. It is simply a framework. And then, of course, there's Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrants, which he used to explain how the rich get richer in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So this is all a framework is. It does not have to be complex. Of course, you want to put more meat on it to build a business around it, but having your framework is really important and powerful because it removes you from selling your time, and in fact, you end up selling your transformation, and other people can actually do your transformation because you have a process that they can simply follow. So I have many frameworks that I use and I've created, from the 8 Cylinders of Success to 101 Things to Do Before You Graduate, the Guaranteed Goals, the Interview, Work Soft, the Career Change Challenge, the Next Client Next Week, the High Performer Plan. These are all my frameworks for maximizing college, for managing your time, for finding purpose, for building a business, for setting goals, for working as a high performer, for changing careers. These are my frameworks. And I know that you have frameworks inside of you that other people would benefit from right now. And so we need to identify what those frameworks are and actually extract them. You've been living out the frameworks. You've been doing the frameworks. Now it's time to stop and take a moment to observe yourself, right? And actually map out that framework so that other people can use it as well. Okay, from there, you want to go into your results. Your results are results that you've actually created for your past clients. The number one problem that I see when people are trying to create a business, when I ask them, okay, show me a result that you created for another person with your product or service. And they can't show me one. And it's very hard to build a business if you haven't had any real results. Now, for those of you who are employees, oftentimes your results can come from your biggest client, which is your employer. You've been working, you've been doing something for them, you've been creating value for them with some sort of mental model and framework that you have. Now it's important for us to take that and actually use that to position you for whatever it is that you want to create. And if you don't have a result, then I encourage you to actually go do free work until you can actually create the result that you desire. Once you have created that result for yourself and someone else, you will be able to sell it with more confidence rather than hoping that what you have to sell actually works for other people. And I'm going to show you the power of having a result and a success story. If you remember Jared Fogle, he was a Subway spokesperson from 2015. Now, I'm not going to talk about what Jared did after that, which was some pretty foul stuff, but for the sake of this story, just bear with me. One success story that Subway had, right? Using Jared's story, Subway was able to grow by 113% over a 12-year period. It went from 20,000 franchise to 43,000 franchise during the time that he was their spokesperson. Subway literally leveraged one success story and it led to growth in their business, significant growth. And so all it takes is one legitimate, real success story, and that's what you need to actually grow your business. And I have several success stories. My first success story was small, and then I leveraged that to get a bigger client, and then I got bigger results for them, and then I leveraged that success story to get a bigger success story. Every success story that you create is relevant to your journey and relevant to attracting the next client that will work with you. Okay? Next, we have to go to finding your eager audience. Once we found a success story, once we know who your ideal client is, who your avatar is that you hit a home run with, then we want to identify where are other members of society who would benefit in the same way that this individual benefited from working with you. So this is finding your eager audience, which are people who are hungry for the result that you create. Now, I don't know if you remember eBay, but eBay initially was popular for Beanie Babies. And eBay was this platform that allowed consumer-to-consumer sales. And Beanie Babies was the perfect fit for eBay. Right? Beanie Babies, Pez dispensers was a perfect fit for eBay because of the collectability, because there were limited quantities, because they got sold on secondary markets, and it was customer-to-customer selling. So eBay found a niche. Of course, eBay is way beyond Beanie Babies now, but in order to get started, it found an eager audience that would benefit the most from its platform, and that's how eBay grew. And that's where you want to start. You don't need some big email list or some huge following on social media to build your business. You just need to find your eager audience wherever it is. And ultimately, over time, you will start to attract people beyond just your early adopters. Okay? Then we want to go into your evergreen campaign. Your evergreen campaigns is something that is always attracting people that desire the result that you have. Something that is always attracting people who desire the result that you have. This is a 24/7 campaign. You see, you always have to be selling. You look at Macy's, they have an evergreen campaign. They create sales for absolutely everything. It's the big November sale. It's the Saturday sale. It's the Thursday sale. It's the after lunch sale. It's the super weekend sale. It's the pop-up Mother's Day sale, the after Christmas sale, the before Christmas sale, the Christmas sale, the super Sunday sale, the added up sale. Like, they just make a sale out of absolutely anything. And so as a consumer, you think you're missing out on something because you just got this advertisement that says there's a sale. But the truth is that there's a sale at Macy's 365 days out of the year. This is their evergreen campaign. They know that they always have to be promoting a sale because people love discounts. People love feeling like they walked away getting away with something, right? And so this is Macy's example of an evergreen campaign, okay? From there, you need a demonstration. A demonstration is opportunity for your potential prospect to get a chance to get a part of the result fast, right? To actually put their hands on whatever it is that you have to offer to actually experience it. Okay, and so Apple, before there were Apple stores, the only way you could order an Apple computer is actually through these magazines that were computer magazines that were sent through the mail, right? So you couldn't really get a feel for it unless your friend had one. And so Apple launched its first store in the early 2000s, and you can see once their stores got established and had established footprint in major cities across the country, you could see what happened to Apple's growth. And the reason that happened is because now people could go into these stores and experience Apple rather than hear about it, right? They could experience it. That's the way this entire store is set up. They just lay out their products and you get to actually experience them, touch them, feel them, right? See them, okay? Now, Apple, as a result, has the highest sales per square foot than even Tiffany's. It's almost twice as much than even Tiffany's, which sells these little jewels, right? Apple has the highest sales per square foot. Once they added demonstration into their business model, their company went through the roof. And so how do you apply demonstration into your business? Well, if you've ever been in the aisles in Costco, right? When you go to Costco on the weekend or Sam's Club, what do? They set up a table and they allow you to sample this meatball or this fish stick or whatever. And if you like it, they say it's down this aisle. Go ahead and buy a box. And they hope that becomes part of your everyday or every week shopping routine, right? So that's a booth, right? Or exhibit booth at a conference or at a store, depending on whatever product that you're selling. Another example is a webinar. A webinar is an opportunity for you to help a prospect get a result in advance, because if you help them get a result in advance, they will actually trust that you can help them get more results in the future if they end up working with you, right? So demonstration is important to your freedom, creating that space, that sales environment, that state of demonstration. Other demonstrations include live events, discovery calls, etc. Then from there, you want to make your offer. Your offer shows the path to the full result, to the ideal person, as well as the price, right? So we don't sell or make products, right? We actually make offers. We don't make products, we make offers, okay? So an offer is powerful because offers can be structured in all kinds of different ways, and one offer of the same exact thing may resonate with somebody different than another type of offer for the same thing. And so I'll give you an example. This is my favorite sales book of all time. Most people don't think of it as a sales book, but this is actually Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss. And in this book, Sam is literally going through and he knows that the character doesn't know if they like green eggs and ham, right? Your prospect doesn't know if they like your product or service. So they may be rejecting it and have walls of resistance initially, but they have no clue because they haven't experienced it. They haven't had a demonstration, right? And so they won't know until they actually try it. And we actually have a moral obligation to sell whatever it is that we have if we know and believe, no, not if we believe, but if we know for a fact that it will help our prospect get to their desired destination faster, safer, and easier than if they try to do it on their own, right? If you actually have their best interest in mind, then you will sell. I know a lot of people are uncomfortable with selling. They think it's sleazy. But if you have something that works, then you actually have a moral obligation to sell. So don't give up simply because someone says no once. Sam offers the green eggs and ham to the other character 15 times in 10 different places: here, there, house, box, car, tree, train, dark, rain, boat, with 3 different bonuses. You want it with a mouse, you want it with a fox, you want it with a goat. And he got 28 no's before he got an yes. He got 28 no's before he got a yes. And what's interesting about this is that Dr. Seuss kind of baked his story into this, but Dr. Seuss's first book was rejected 27 times. He was ready to give up, but he bumped into a friend on the street who'd been working on publishing. And Seuss said if he'd been walking on the other side of the street, he probably would have never been a children's author. 27 times. And how many times did Sam I Am get rejected? 28 times, right? There's no coincidence there. Dr. Seuss was telling his own story that you have to keep making the offer in different ways until the person says yes. Products don't sell themselves. We don't sell products and services. We make offers. And I'm going to give you a crystal clear example of that. One day I was in the market for a GoPro. If you ever seen my show on YouTube, I use a GoPro. And initially I went to the GoPro website to see what the price was. And the GoPro website was offering the GoPro and this selfie stick for $3.99, right? But then I went and checked eBay and or Amazon, and Amazon was offering it for $3.99 as well, and they said that they could get it to me tomorrow. And then I went to B&H, and B&H was offering the same thing that GoPro was offering, which is $3.99 plus a free selfie stick, and they said that it was shipped today. And then eBay was offering it for $354, a lot less, brand new, right? But no selfie stick. And so this is one product but 4 different ways of offering it, right? One product but 4 different ways of offering it. Some people have bonuses, some people reduce price, some people promise next day shipping, some people promise same day shipping, but same product, 4 different offers. And I ultimately went with the Amazon offer because I felt it was the best offer. So if you've actually been out there trying to sell your product or service, remember that the more offers you make, the more money you will make. The more offers you make, the more money you will make. So stop making more products and services and start making more offers. The final stage of the freedom framework is actually money, and money is your compensation for their transformation into the result that they truly desire. So the late great Jim Rohn once said, if you want to be a millionaire, the best way to do that is to help others become millionaires, right? You get what you give. You get what you give. A lot of people are trying to do as little as possible and get as much as they can from doing as little as possible, but that's not how this works. You actually have to give a lot of value, and then you are able to extract or capture some of that value. So the first stage is creating value for other people, and then as a result of that value created, you're able to capture some of that in the form of revenue. Okay? So your wealth will be directly proportional to the size of the problems that you solve. Your wealth will be directly proportional to the size of the problems you solve. Bill Gates has as much wealth as he has because of the size of the problem that he solved. Jeff Bezos has as much wealth as he has because of the size of the problem that he solved, right? So if you solve small problems, then don't expect huge amounts of wealth. You have to figure out bigger and better problems to solve. So money, it's not complex. It's very simple. And I'll give you this story from when I was little. One day my mom brought home this jar of Now Laters, and I didn't really eat Now Laters like that. There's about 100 Now Laters in the jar. And so I put them in my backpack and I took them to school, right? And I sold them for 25 cents each, and I got $25 in revenue out of that. And I gave her that money, $10, to go back to Costco. You think this is a webinar for Costco. To go back to Costco and buy me another jar, right? And so from there, I could take $15 of profit out and go buy some clothes or a DVD at that time, or a cassette, right? I could do that with the $15, or I could reinvest it back into the business, right? So you have to decide what business is for you. Is it a lifestyle business where you're trying to create money to actually go live this particular lifestyle? Or are you trying to grow this into something bigger than you that's actually going to supply you and your family and many people's families for a long, long time? What type of business are you in? What are you really in this for, right? But this same model that you see here for me selling Now Laters out in my backpack in junior high school, it's the same for any business. You can swap out this product or service and it operates the same way. Okay, so business is not as complex as people make it out to be. So this is the freedom framework. It's the powerful framework that is universal. Literally, you can apply it to absolutely anything, and I guarantee that it will help you turn your intelligence and your insights into income. And with each stage of the freedom framework, I actually have a program that will support you in moving through each step of the freedom framework. We have PowerPoint Profit. We have Next Client Next Week. We have Avatar Analyzer. We have Evergreen Enrollment, Webinar Worthy, Action-Oriented Offers, and Be Paid. I created this specifically to help people advance through the freedom framework step by step by step. Now, I know some of you are like, oh, no, not another online course. Well, this is absolutely different. You see, I have a colleague in the space. It's kind of hard to call him a friend now. I have a colleague in the space who I was on the phone with, and I said, who are your most profitable customers? And you know what she told me? She said, my most profitable customers are the personal development junkies who just want information and never take action. It's sad, but it's true. I was like, wow. Now, I can't go to sleep at night knowing that people are buying the information and maybe consuming it, but not implementing it. No, that's not what I'm about. I'm actually here for your transformation. You see, don't be another personal development junkie, right? Personal development junkies, they call 411 when they should actually be calling 911. 411 will give you more information. 911 will give you direct help. You see, most online courses don't get completed, right? Information without accountability is not a great system. In fact, only 6.8% of online courses get completed. How many online courses have you bought that you haven't completed? How many books are on your shelf that you bought that you haven't read, right? How many webinars have you attended that you haven't implemented? Right? See, I'm not here just for the transfer of information. I'm actually here for your transformation. I have a lifelong commitment to actually freeing 300 people. If I free 300 people, I could actually be on the $20 bill like Harriet Tubman 100 years from now. Right? That's the kind of legacy that I'm committed to. For me, this is not about millions, but I do know that those free 300 people will actually end up freeing millions over generations. Okay? And so this is how I approach my life, and I would love for you to be one of those 300 people that I help. But of course, I've loosened the chains for thousands. So what makes the way I operate different is that I don't give you courses. I actually give you courses of action. You see, I created a technology. I actually invested thousands of dollars into a technology that actually produces online worksheets. And with the online worksheets, you watch the video, you fill out the worksheets, and as you complete the worksheets, those worksheets do work for you. They actually output your business plan and your action plan as you complete the worksheets. What you type into the fields in the worksheets is actually doing work for you. In the same way that your money should be working for you, these worksheets actually work for you. All right. They will produce things like your Facebook ads. In fact, some of you got here using this very same Facebook ad that you see here. And where did I get that? All I did was copy and paste it from the online workbook that I created with the technology that I built. Right? I'm different. I'm doing this different because I want to see you succeed. I want to see you all the way through the finish line. And so let me just give you a quickly high level what each of these courses is going to do for you. The PowerPoint Profit, that will help you create your framework, right, which we talked about earlier. It'll help you create your course and curriculum. It'll help you create a book or ebook, and it will help you lay out the outline for your signature talk. Next client next week, it will allow you to create your success story, your Jared, and then sell that result to other people in 7 days or less. Avatar Analyzer will help you create targeted marketing copy for ads and web pages, including your homepage. If I go to your homepage right now and I can't really get clear on whether or not you are actually speaking to me or what you have to offer, then there's a problem. If you're not getting sales off of visitors, right? If your copy isn't resonating with them, then you look at your bounce rate on Google Analytics and you'll see that they're leaving really quickly because you weren't using the right copy to connect with them. Evergreen Enrollment is really about how to create a funnel that generates qualified leads 24/7. Even when you're asleep, I want you to be creating qualified leads. I can show you exactly how to put that funnel into your business. Webinar Worthy is how to create a webinar that ultimately makes your offer virtually, right? Create a webinar that makes your ultimate offer virtually. Right? I like to call it your God experience. Okay, so this is Webinar Worthy. I'll show you how to structure that webinar from the beginning of the webinar to the middle of the webinar to how you actually close on that webinar. And then there is action-oriented offers. This will show you how to create an amazing offer and only make it to serious people. You do not want to waste your breath and time making your offer to people who it's not a fit for. I'll show you how to only find the people who are serious about what it is that you have to offer. And then finally, there's Be Paid, which is my flagship program, which will help you create a business plan to automate and scale your business beyond you. Right? Ultimately, you don't want to stay self-employed. You want to build a business that grows beyond you or has the potential to. So remember, my mission and purpose is to fully free more people than Harriet Tubman, and she fully freed about 300 people during her lifetime. And I free them not to create. This isn't about getting super rich. I want you to have an abundant life. But for me, being free means having the freedom to actually live out your purpose on a daily basis. In order to do that sustainably, you have to be paid for your purpose. And so entrepreneurship is the vehicle that I use to do that. So for Courtney, she was an online business coach, and she had some courses and things of that nature. I helped her launch her mastermind, strengthen her coaching offer, and develop some e-courses, and her business skyrocketed. And as a result, she felt comfortable enough to actually step into motherhood as a result of having the security of the recurring revenue that I was able to help her put into her business. Bobby Audley was working at a college in Maryland, and through working with me, we were able to help him step into speaking full-time pretty quickly. Lenice was working at a school, at a charter school, in the executive role, and she decided that she wanted to go start her own recruiting and consulting company, and I helped her through that process, and she's now the proud mother of twins as well. See, a lot of women are actually delaying motherhood because they haven't fully stepped into their purpose yet. For these two women here, I was able to help them step into their purpose and actually be getting enough revenue to feel comfortable to step into motherhood now. And then there's Akshay, who actually had a similar story, except he stepped into fatherhood after we helped him transition from accounting at a nonprofit to his own accounting business for small businesses, and now he is a father and a homeowner. So these are the 4 people that I fully freed, though again, I've loosened the chains for thousands of people. This is a text message that I got from Lenice a long time ago, where she got a 30 $32,000 recruiting deal to recruit teachers by mid-April, right? $32,000 deal as a result of going through the Be Paid program. This is a text message from Courtney after we did her mastermind launch, and we did a launch that yielded 176 members. 176 members who are paying, I believe, $199 a month. And if you add that up, that number is pretty big, over $400,000, or about about $25,000 in recurring revenue each month. Okay, so this is the power of this curriculum that I just showed you. So normally, if you would go to thefreedomschool.com and actually try to buy all of these courses a la carte, they would cost you $2,779. But today, that is not what you will pay at all. In fact, they are all for free. I am here to give them to you for free. See, a lot of people already left because they weren't serious, and I told you, I only make offers to people who are serious. You're still here for a reason, and so I'm here to actually support you. There's something about you that made you stay because you were ready to make this happen in your business and life. So again, I repeat, it is all free. It is all free. All you have to do is join my mastermind, which is the focus group. And the purpose of the focus group is to build a business that allows you to be paid for your purpose, right? I'm not promising you millions of dollars or anything like that. I want you to be free enough to give and live your purpose on a daily basis. So the first focus group is for purpose-driven coaches, consultants, speakers, and experts who want to monetize their mind. Our vision is sustainable success, consistent cash flow, and true transformation for you in your life, but most importantly for your clients. And our mission is to free you by building a business that earns $10,000 a month online consistently. Now, $10,000 for me, I believe that anybody can be free off of $10,000 a month. You do not need to be a millionaire to actually be free, and we will actually go through your personal financials, and change your mindset in relationship to money as well through this process. The way the focus group works is over the course of a year, we'll have 12 goal-setting calls or webinars. We'll have 12 monthly hot seat calls, mid-month hot seat calls, where I coach live members as they struggle with certain things, and you get to listen in on those coaching sessions. And while I'm coaching them, you're also being coached. You'll also get 50 weeks of online coaching from me. And I'm actually going to stop coaching soon, and actually only coach my founding members soon. But right now, if you take advantage of this, you'll get 50 weeks of online coaching from me, not once, but twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays through the online platform that I created. I will coach you online twice a week. Yes, me holding you accountable to whatever it is that you said you wanted to accomplish in your business that month. You'll also be in connection with 100 other entrepreneurs who are purpose-driven and committed to success just like you. You know, if you're tired of doing it alone and trying to figure it out and attending webinars and reading books, and you actually want to just be next to somebody who is actually can show you, somebody who's actually done it, not only me, but other people, there's just power in community, right? When my daughter was just learning to walk, we were at a party, and there was a young girl who was her size who was walking. And I kid you not, the next day, after seeing that young girl who was her size and her age walking, the next day my daughter took her first step. That is the power of proximity, the power of being around other people who are breaking free and having these breakthroughs. And then on top of that, you get 24-hour access to our online community. You'll be connected to some amazing entrepreneurs who are doing great work out there, like Tanya Rapley, who is creator of My Five Finance and the Banish the Balance Challenge. She's been featured on Black Enterprise. You'll be connected to people like Chris Kazi-Roll, who's a matchmaker and relationship coach and has done all kinds of amazing work in terms of bringing love and intimacy back into marriages. You'll be connected to people like Sharia Jackson, who's been all over the TV, has released her new book, Boss Bride, and she's also a relationship and career author, speaker, and coach. These are the caliber of people that you will be connected with in the focus group. So here's what every single month will look like. I call it our 30-day success cycle. On Mondays and Thursdays, or Tuesdays and Fridays, you'll have your online coaching, or twice a week. You'll have your online coaching. At the beginning of the month, we have our group meeting, and then in the middle of the month, we have our group hot seat call. The check marks you see here are you knocking out things on your to-do list, and doing that because you know that I'm holding you accountable twice a week. And then the dominoes are there because you don't just set goals in the focus group, you set goals in motion. There's a difference between setting a goal and setting a goal in motion. And through the goal setting process that I have, you will actually be forced to set a goal in motion in the same way that I sent out that email on November 10th, 2008. Without having anything planned for November 22nd, that is goal setting in motion. That is knocking down the first domino. This is the platform that I created, and this is where I will be coaching you twice a week. You will type in whatever question, challenge, or struggle that you have, and I will go in there and I will reply back to you and let you know how I would approach that situation, and so that you can get through it faster and not make the same mistakes that I did. This is where I coach you weekly. I can see your progress on all your goals, right? And I can keep you focused, and I can even make sure that you're doing the right goals. I've had people set goals, and I looked at their business and said, that's actually not going to be productive for you. That will likely not get you the result that you desire. So over the course of the year, this is what it would look like together. This is me literally having my hands inside your business, right? Where I am literally like your business partner, literally helping you grow your business to success. Okay, so normally the focus group, it would be $3,588 for the year, but that's not going to be the case today. So not only do you get the Freedom Framework and every course that comes with it, which is valued at $2,799. I'm also going to be giving you Monetize Masterminds. Monetize Masterminds is my curriculum that once you go through the Freedom Framework, you will be, and you have a decent email list, and we have your framework and your sales process and your evergreen webinar established. Monetize Mastermind is one of the best systems for unlocking the value in your list. You know, they say the money's in your email list. I will show you exactly how to unlock that using Monetize Mastermind and create recurring revenue. This program has actually unlocked more wealth for my coaching clients than any other program that I have, and I will include that for you rather than you buying it a la carte at $1,999. So you'd get the Freedom Framework plus Monetize Mastermind, right? That would be $4,778. On top of that, you get 60% off a VIP day, a 3-day VIP days, 3-day VIP days in New York City with me and 2 to 4 other group members. Here in my home in New York, I have 2 apartments above me. I clear those out, and guess what? I have you all come and stay, and we actually go hard. This is not a day where you'll see a ton of PowerPoints and more teaching and presenting, and you'll be taking notes. No, we'll actually have laptops open, and we will actually be building out your funnels, writing your copies, doing launches, setting up Facebook ads. It is all about implementation. It is not about teaching or inspiration. It is all about implementation to help you get out of your own way. Now, normally those VIP days cost $7,500. You get 60% off. So if you want my hands-on attention, you actually get to come for a lot less, and your room is included. All you have to do is pay for your flights and food, and pay for the other 40%, and you are good to go. Okay, people who are not members of the focus group have to pay $7,500 to have access to the VIP days. Okay, so that brings us up to $9,278. All right, so this is everything that you would get so far. On top of that, you get 2 tickets to the Entrepreneur Year live event, live or live stream. If you can't make it to New York City, that's 2 free tickets so that you can bring your business partner or another entrepreneur you know where you're at. It's always great to have 2 people together who are going to hold each other accountable. And those tickets are $199 each, so that total value is $398. So that puts us at $9,676. So here's everything you get for that. On top of that, you get membership to the focus group for 12 months. Not only do you get community, but you'll get the coaching and accountability directly from me. Right? So that puts us well over the $13,000 mark. This is what that looks like in terms of imagery. Now, the reason I structure it this way, again, I'm not giving information out without accountability anymore. I'm so committed to the consumption and implementation of the information. There are so many gurus out there who are selling you snake oil and selling you more courses, and they could care less if you finish. They care less if you finish. All they care about is that they got their money. That's not how I operate. I want to see you through the finish line. So you will not be paying $13,000 a day. You won't be paying anything close to that. But the reason I structured it this way is because I currently charge over $600 an hour for one-on-one coaching. And the reason I've done this is because I want to get to my 300 number faster so that I can actually change the number to 1,000, right? And so I wanted to make this affordable for you because I know that everybody can't afford $600 for 1 hour of support. And so all you have to do is join the focus group and pay for that membership. But you don't need to pay $3,588 today. All you need to do to join the focus group is pay $2,999. Okay? So option number one, it feels free, but it's actually going to cost you the most, especially in terms of time and money, and that is you do nothing. Right? If you really want to be free, you can't do nothing. Freedom isn't just going to fall in your lap. You have to fight for your freedom. You have to fight for your freedom. I believe that we were free at birth, but because of decisions of our parents, because of our own decisions, because of our own ignorance, not in a negative way, just us not knowing, we ended up putting ourselves in bondage. And what this requires is a mindset shift, right? So if you do nothing, don't expect different results, right? Einstein said insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. So that's option number one, which feels free, but it's actually going to cost you the most. Option number two is not paying $2,999. In fact, you can actually pay $299 per month, and you can join right here, right now at juliangordon.com/free now for just $299 a month. That is it. Get access to everything that I showed you for $299 a month. I mean, that's absolutely insane. I wanted this to be low enough to be affordable, but high enough to keep out those who aren't really serious. So if you're not willing to invest $9.96 per day into your business, it's going to be very hard to grow it. It's going to be very hard to grow it. But not just in terms of investing money, you got to invest time. You got to figure out how you're going to create an hour or two of space in your day in order to create the business that you truly desire. Your business is not going to grow by itself. Okay, so what else can you get for $9.96? I went on Amazon and I found something that you can get for $9.96, and it is some stainless steel strainers. Some stainless steel strainers, and you get 4 of them. And I put the link up there in case you want that instead. But that's what you can get for $9.96. So the link is there, but I encourage you to go to the other link, which is juliangordon.com/free now. Okay, so option 3 is a one-time payment of $2,999. Doing this means that you are fully committed, and I reward people who are fully committed. You would save 2 months of membership that way, which would be $598 if you commit for the entire year. So I am so certain that I will help you succeed that here's my make money guarantee. You've never heard of this before. It's a make money guarantee. If you show up and do the work, and for some crazy reason, your revenues don't surpass your investment, meaning that you haven't made $3,000 after 12 months, which is only $250 a month, I will extend your membership into the following year for free until they do. You just have to show you've done the work by completing the modules in the program. That's it. On top of that, if at any time you feel like you've gotten everything that you needed, you can cancel at any time by email, no questions asked, and you will not be billed for the next month. Okay, so that is my make money guarantee. There's nobody else out there in the world offering that, but I am offering it to you. So please do not invest in another coach, another course, conference, or college before you try this out, which gives you all 4. You're going to get the coaching from me. You're going to get the courses that you need to actually be free. You're going to have opportunities to come to 2 live events here in New York City, right? And then you can come in on the weekend and actually enjoy 2 days in New York before we get to work. And then I'm going to give you the collegial environment by surrounding you with other entrepreneurs who are just as committed to their freedom as you are. Now, there is a price for procrastinating. Today, it's $299 per month or $2,999 for the year. If you wait, the price will jump to $349 per month or $3,499 per year. So you'd be losing $600 or $500 depending on if you pay monthly or in full. But on top of that, you'll also be losing all the bonuses. So if you go straight to the website and try to join the focus group, the bonuses are not included. All the bonuses that I laid out, which are $9,676 worth of bonuses, you will not get access to. You would just be a member of the focus group, and I would hold you accountable in that way. So please take advantage of this right now. You have to really know the difference between expensive and expansive. See, an expense is money that leaves forever and never returns to you. And we spend a lot of money every single month on expenses. Something that is expansive is an investment. And an investment is money that leaves and returns with more friends, right? And every dollar you spend in your business should be an investment. For accounting purposes, they make you call things expenses, but the reality is that you only put money out in your business because you believe that putting that $1, that $100, that $1,000 out is actually going to return to you $2,000 at some later date and time. Right? So you have to know the difference between expensive and expansive. So are you thinking this is expensive? I can't afford to do this right now. Or are you thinking it's expansive? I can't afford not to do this right now. You always want to be in a mindset of expansiveness. And if you're happy with expenses, then you'll likely continue to have expenses. And that's all life will be. You'll go get revenues from your employer, and then you'll have expenses that continue to take that money out, right? And your income potential will actually be always limited by your employer, as opposed to you actually dictating what it is that you want to do, or how much you want to earn, how many lives you want to impact. So here's everything that you get. Again, you can start today, right now, for $299. Normally, outside of this context, you have to apply to be in the focus group. We don't accept everyone. Everyone is not a fit for us. But because you stayed here this long, I am making an exception, and I'm presenting this offer to you. Again, many people have left this video already. They are on to whatever. They're scrolling through Instagram or Tinder or checking email because that's more important to them than their freedom. For you, you are still here at this moment in time, which says a lot about who you are. You are already in the top 1%, right? And so you can join us today for $299 without going through that process and see if this is actually a fit for you. So again, you get all of this. You get Monetized Masterminds, you get the Freedom Framework, you get 2 tickets for the Entrepreneur Year Live, you get the 60% off of the VIP 3-day VIP day here in New York. You get access to the community of 100 entrepreneurs who are purpose-driven just like you, and you're going to get my coaching and accountability for an entire year. For those who are ready to take action right now, on top of that, instead of having your visioning call, your 30-minute visioning call next week with one of my team members, you will actually have your visioning call with me. Right? That is your fast action bonus. If you take action right now, you will have your visioning call with me rather than one of my team members. So here's what's going to happen next. You'll have your visioning call with me. We'll create your 90-day plan. You'll get introduced to the group. You'll start your first 2 online courses in the Freedom Framework. We'll have our monthly team meetings. You'll get online coaching from me twice a week. We'll have our mid-month hot seat, which I would love for you to jump in the hot seat and allow me to coach you live, or you can just come and listen in. And we are going to be focused on creating a new revenue stream in your business. So with that, I want to leave you with my final words of wisdom, or what I call my wow, and that is that action minus intention equals reaction. And a lot of people live very reactionary lives. They wait for life to happen to them and then they react. And this is why they never actually step into freedom, because they're always responding to something that is happening to them, and they are a product of their environment instead of being a creator of their environment. And then there's intention minus action, which equals regret. A lot of people have great ideas about what they want for their lives, these great ambitious visions, but then they never take action. And as a result, they live with a lot of regret, and regret will eat you from the inside out. And so what I want for you is intention plus action, where you're clear on why you're doing something and you're taking the action that you need to actually get the results that you desire. I believe that if you combine those two, that you'll start to have the life that you truly want, and that you'll become more free. So with that, I want to say thank you so much for joining me for this impromptu webinar. My name is Julian Gordon, and I really encourage you to join us in the focus group and get access to everything that I share with you. Again, go to juliangordon.com/free now, and I look forward to serving you. Peace.